Lucy. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us. 2025 was a brand new era for Kent women. How has sort of the programme been adapted to move into Tier 2 on and off the field this season?
Yeah, so it's been, I'll be honest, it's been very kind of up and down with the new structure for us as a Tier 2 women's club this year. I think there's been some real highlights and real positives, not just kind of on the pitch, but also off the pitch as a whole club. I think from a performance point of view, in terms of the free competitions we've been in this year, we have struggled with certain match plays and performance levels, but overall, I'm extremely proud of what everybody has put in from the coaching staff, the players, but also the staff around the whole club. I think the difference for us as a culture this year has been significant. If we was to look back at Kent women the last 2 years to where we are now, I'll be honest in saying I think based on the pitch experiences for the players and the team, I think we've learnt a lot. And as we move into the next few years as a still remaining as a Tier 2 club, I think it's exciting now to benchmark where we are as a team and what we can bring into the squad based on additional players, but also how we structure the winter programme for the level of this Tier 2 cricket that we're going to move forward into.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a little bit there. There has been sort of a mixed year on the pitch, but it was highlighted by a great run in the inaugural T20 County Cup. Sort of, what's the summary from your point of view about each competition?
Yeah, so I think for us as well, I think the level of matches that we've had this year, again, the workload for the girls has really increased, and it's been a fantastic opportunity to play two T20s, a 50 over competition for the One Day Cup. I think we started both competitions extremely well. I think across all three skill sets. I think 50 over cricket is definitely an area that we know from my point and the coaching team we've reflected a lot on in terms of our batting depth and our fielding kind of experience in this level of cricket. But I think across the three competitions, I think, as I said a moment ago, I think there's a lot of learning, but we've also got to be better. We've got to now bridge that gap from where we were previously as Kent women and bridge the gap to get higher standards across T20 and 50 over cricket, just for the future of the game, because I know that the competitions won't be changing. So we now know what the level is for us to compete at a better standard for Tier 2 cricket.
Yeah, and I suppose it's still quite a massive difference between the men's and the women's game as we stand. And it's also quite different behind the scenes. Obviously, you're not fully professional yet. So those that may not know, what challenges does that possess to yourself as sort of off-field staff, but then also for the girls on the pitch as well?
Yeah, so there's a lot. I've spoken to a lot of our members that have come to the games, and I even bumped into somebody in Sainsbury's not long ago to explain. But yeah, our women's team are not professional. They're not even semi-professional right now. They are classed as an elite team. None of our women get paid to play cricket. They do this because they love the game. They love playing for Kent Cricket, and there are challenges based on the fact of financial situations. There's obviously the commercial, the business side that has grown massively for us. But I think from behind the scenes, I think until until we can get extra funding for the women's game, I think we work with what we've got. I'll be honest in saying that behind the scenes, I've been so grateful to everybody at Kent Cricket and all of the supporters that have just shown a difference for us this year. And I want to see that continue as we move into next year. I think for me, we have to go with what we have right now as a Tier 2 county. The girls will work full time. We've got university. We've got A-level students in our team. That is a challenge because they can't train as much, maybe compared to others. And geographically as well, we've got a squad that have to travel sometimes 2.5 hours to get to a training session. So the challenges are there, but again, we build on it. We learn from this year, and we keep pushing forward for a better season next year.
Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit in there about the support we've had from not only obviously Kent members and fans, which obviously we saw a record attendance set this year,
Yeah.
but also from a sponsor point of view. How grateful is that sort of have you been for that? And sort of Bala coming in as a T20 sponsor, but then also is that sort of positive sign for the future, seeing all the support?
Yeah, definitely. I think for us it's been amazing. Obviously, we have Canterbury Christchurch University that are our longest holding, one of our main sponsors for the Kent Women for our One Day Cup. They've also put in lots and lots of support for us behind the scenes. To have Koala step in as a T20 sponsor was a huge investment for us. It was great to have an additional, for the first time ever as well, for the women to have their own T20 kit. We've never ever had that before. Bracious have also been extremely supportive with us, and then also having match day sponsors. Again, it's just been a different kind of commercial and sponsorship partnership for us this year. I think as we grow, we will be looking to increase the investment. We will be looking to have more local businesses support the women's team. So it will be something that within our business strategy we'll be looking forward to over the next 2 years for us.
Yeah, and just to go back to a couple of
Yeah.
questions ago, you mentioned, obviously some people are travelling to another house of training, you've got university, etc. We've seen quite a big strong battle for places in the side this season, which is obviously a very good problem to have, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Could you just shed some light on sort of selection policy from the women's side of things and what you may go through when it comes to selecting a 13 strong squad each week?
Yeah, it has been a challenge. There's a lot of players in our squad. We decided to pick a very large squad of 18 to 19 players at the very start of November. And the reason that we decided to do that so we could start our winter programme before the funding from ECB kicked in, because we thought that was the right move for us. In terms of selection, it has been tough for the coaching team. It hasn't been easy every single week, but how that process works, there's always a selection committee meeting, and the coaches will select a team that they feel is best fit for what the opposition will bring based on the analysis that we are given as a tier two, but also based on the depth of what is needed for that fixture. So we have there's been games that we've decided we needed a more spin attack or we needed more seam attack, for example. There's also a lot of kind of transitions based on having some Surrey Academy players, so that brings in different selections. But overall, I think that selection at this level is what it is, and we have to select what we feel is the best team out there. There may be mistakes across the season. There may be in a selection decisions that haven't gone to plan. But as a coaching team, I know that James Hockley and the coaching team have reflected a lot on certain things. But I think as we move forwards and we look into the next couple of years, selection will get tougher. It will get more now. We have analysis the first time ever. It will come down to statistics. It will come down to the analysis of what is needed for that game.
Yeah. And you mentioned it in there that sort of the selection is obviously we've had a lot of players step up from what are now tier three counties, but also we're linked with Surrey's tier one academy,
Yep.
which has seen a lot of Kent Pathway girls go into that academy
Yeah.
and thrive. Sort of what strengths do you see in Kent's Pathway at the minute, and how does that then link with your partnership with the Surrey Academy?
So obviously another part of my job is obviously managing the girls pathway here at Kent. So we have a girls pathway in the county system from under 12s up to under 18s, and we are known to be producing players, and I'm extremely proud, and I will sing the praises of everybody that works in my girls pathway and all of the parents, all of the players, because it is just fantastic to see. So we currently have 4 players that are now in a tier 1 Surrey Academy, and I think the depth that the academy brings for when they return to Kent cricket and they play their under 18s cricket or their women's cricket is significant. I think it's really, really exciting to see now where the transition from being an emerging player program player with us in our EPP to then the step into a professional academy. It builds the kind of competitive element to professional cricket, but also allows us to have some really talented girls within our pathway. And for myself, being out there observing, talking to the coaches, from under 12s up to our under 18s, there is so many players now coming through that I know will make it into a professional environment in the future.
Yeah, and those that will be clued up on Kent's social media this week would have seen that 3 of those players you mentioned have been picked to play in the South v South, sort of a best v best match,
Yeah.
where the best 22 players from southern counties will play against each other. How proud does that make you see? How proud does that make you feel to see recognition for those players that have worked so hard?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So to have Genevieve Gier, Naomi Scott, Daisy Brandon to be selected into that South vs South from for myself, knowing the girls from day dot of kind of starting their Kent cricket journey at 9 years old to where they are now, I know that it's a huge, huge achievement just to have that selection. And as I've said to those 3 girls, whatever happens out of that South vs South, if they make it through to the school games or England under 19s for the future, that no matter what, we fully support them. And if that means that they have to spend more time with that compared to being around the Surrey Academy and us, that of course we fully support them. And not just myself, but all of the coaches that have worked with the girls at Kent are extremely proud of what they've gone on to achieve this year.
Yeah, and that's sort of a testament to all the work that goes on behind the scenes that
Yeah.
you may not know. but also players like Jen Gier, who've stepped up into Kent's first team, and the other two you mentioned have made first team appearances in the past.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd hope to sort of have more of in the future, those sort of pathway players moving into the first team here?
Yeah, 100%. I think for us over the next 2 years, my vision for the Kent women is to be the best tier two team that we can be. I think we've learned a lot this year. It's really important that we now focus on competing at a higher standard in tier two cricket than we have this year. And I know that our under 18 girls, our Surrey Academy players, they are going to improve and increase the performance of what we currently have in the Kent women's space. So to answer your question, we will be seeing more of our pathway players stepping into the Kent women's team, but when they are ready to do that.
Yeah. That sort of leads us on to what's hopefully the final question here. Are there any specific milestones for the future that people may not know about already? So things such like increased retention, whether it's players getting professional contracts, and then just general performance targets that you're aiming to reach.
So right now, I think the focus for us is to compete at a higher level than we have this year in Tier 2 cricket for the next 2 years. And that will mean that we will be increasing the training time. We'll be looking at the kind of specialism that we have in terms of fielding and strength and conditioning for us. I think player contracts will not happen until the ECB allow us to do that. So at the moment, the kind of player contracts that we have will stay with as they are because that's the requirements from ECB. I think what we will make sure we do is that no player, every single player has everything covered for them, their kit, their travel. And as we increase the investment for us, it just allows us to increase the resources that we can offer to the Kent women compared to what we've had this year. So from my point of view, the vision for us over these next 2 years is going to be very focused on how we can compete at a better standard with Tier 2 cricket.
And we'll finish it off on if you could just send a message out there to anyone that's watching this, whether it's a Kent member, just a general fan, or potentially even sponsor, what would you say to them?
So my first thing is thank you. I think my first message to supporters, members, local businesses, all of the club network, the community team, the staff. I think my biggest thing is just to say thank you for the support on and off the pitch this year. I think it's been a significant change as a whole club. And I just hope that any members that may be listening to this, any fans, I just hope that due to the fact that yes, we have lost the last 4 games on the bounce, but please keep supporting us these final 3 games. And as we push through to another year of League Two cricket, your support means not just to me, but the players and the staff. So yeah, thank you. But I hope to see so many of you more next year with us as well.
Great. Thank you, Lucy.
No worries.